Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel Huddersfield Town Fan TV for another video. And in today's video I am going to be looking at the current players on the contract, and I'm going to be telling you all my players that I'd like to keep, sell, or even loan, because I think loan or sell are pretty much the same thing, aren't they? But some players, just to get them out the door, the loan would be better. So yeah, we're gonna go through the list, and I'm gonna tell you what. But I'd also love to hear who you would keep, who you would sell or loan out. Let me know in the comments down below, and also make sure you drop a like and subscribe as well. It is very much appreciated, and thank you everybody for your support recently. It honestly means a lot to me, you know that. And yeah, I know I say it a lot, but honestly it does. But yes, without further ado, we're going to just get straight into it then, I guess. Look, I think the most thing, before I do start this list, is that we have to be realistic, guys. Look, we want most of this squad, and let's be honest, you know what I mean? And that is what we want. But we have to be realistic, and that's where I base some of my decisions on as well, in terms of especially my keep list, because my keep list maybe is longer than maybe it should be, but I just can't see us getting rid of some of these players that we basically I can't see us getting rid of every single player that we've gone for. It's not going to happen. That's the reality. So yes, so let's just start with a keep list first then. Obviously Chapman did sign a new contract, a goalkeeper, so I think he will be staying. So yes, but certainly not a number one for me. I've already said it. Do think that we need a new number one. But yeah, Chapman as a backup, as a third choice. Yeah, I guess for the time being. Dion Charles. Look, this guy has not put himself in the shop window as many of the players really, but I just think the fact that he's just come through the door, it feels like highly unlikely that we're going to actually be able to offload him. He hasn't been in the building that long. He's only been here a few months. So, again, we can only hope when these players come back, when Charles comes back to pre-season, we can only hope that he just sparks into life, because he's just been very poor, hasn't he? Since he came in January. So, yeah. So for me, Dion Charles, keep. Tom Yorpenda, yeah, absolutely keep. I think, look, Tom knows that I'm a big fan of his. Obviously it's clear that he has got a bright future. Of course, he has to work on a lot of things. I'm not denying that, and I think he knows that. But I'm sure he's putting the work in, because he seems a very determined individual and very full of passion and pride, and yeah, hard working as well. So look, I think Tom over the summer will really put in the work again, like he did in previous summers, because remember last season, he was on the door of the first team, despite no matter what you say about the injuries that we had, he still got into that first team setup more and more, and that proves that last summer he did put the work in, and it paid dividends. So look, I like Tom. He's still a young lad, and yeah, for me, really, really good to see his development, and hopefully can really push on, going into next season, and really, put himself even further into the lineup, and really, who knows, maybe start quite a lot of games, but we'll see. Herbie Kane, I think he's staying, isn't he? Obviously, experience, been disappointing the amount of games he's missed this season. I'm going to admit it there, but he's a useful player. Is he a starter? No, I don't think he's a starter for us at all. He's a good bench player to have to come on now and again. But yeah, Kasumu, of course, just signed his new contract recently as well, isn't he? So for me, he is staying. He has been shocking since he signed that new contract, by the way. So I'm not sure what's happened there. But I suppose it's like most of these players that get new contracts, they're just down tools after that. He needs to have a hard look at himself in the mirror over the summer and actually get back to the form that we've seen before that contract were offered. You know what I mean? And yeah, not just playing for a contract. Is that why he upped his game before? No, in the summer, he needs to knuckle down, and we need to see a better version of him next season. Mikael Miller, keep. I mean, look, people may think, why are you saying keep with him? Because his injury record, I think his injury last season, to be fair though, was very unfortunate, guys, if I'm being honest with you. Obviously it was just it was such a innocuous injury, wasn't it, where he just, can't remember who it was now, but fell on his knee, didn't he? And yeah, obviously he got injured from that, and he was out for a lot of time, and obviously he came back. And then he got injured again though as well, just before the season went out. So it's just incredible, isn't it? This guy cannot stay fit, but again, we are kind of stuck with him for now, and we can only hope that he can turn around his injury issues, but not confident really. He's not someone that you can rely on at all. Ruben Ruskin, keep, absolutely. Showing glimpses, still not enough though. Still got a few, he had a few injuries as well, didn't he? So yeah, needs to be a lot better next season, because we did see glimpses, but it wasn't enough. We want to see more, but yeah, so keep him. Brody Spencer, look, I think we're going to struggle to keep. I would keep Brody Spencer, but there has been talk, is there going to be interest from clubs in the Championship, you know what I mean? I think he's a good player, Brody, but I think at times this season he hasn't played the best. And yeah, but I do think he will get injured because he's a good player, and I think in a lot better team. Because let's be honest, our squad, this season, it's just been shocking, hasn't it? Our squad overall is shocking. So in a better team, but he still has to do his own job, of course. And I don't think he's done that to the extent at times, but he's still done a lot of good stuff as well, so full credit to him for that. So for me, keep, but wouldn't be surprised if there is interest over the summer for him, but we'll see what happens there. Joe Taylor, keep, of course. He's just come through the door in January. It's been a very, very poor start to his Huddersfield Town career, as we can all agree. He came in not necessarily fit. Then he got injured and was out for weeks. And then he came back and he, obviously didn't do anything either. Didn't do much either, did he, when he came back? Clearly struggling with fitness and clearly just not up to the races. I think when you do get injuries constantly like he has, even before he came to us, I think it does play, and also he hadn't played much football when he came in. So I think that Joe Taylor, there's a player in there, but I'm telling you, he needs to get back to work in the summer. Go back early, get himself fit, and really prove that he's worth every penny of that money that was spent on him in January. Because what I've seen is heavy touches, not getting. And look, I said it the other day. We haven't played to his strengths. Correct, we haven't. Launching long balls when he's a 5'9", 10 striker isn't going to work. We know that, but I do think when he's had the ball played into his feet, he's been very, very sloppy with the ball, not heavy touches. You know what I mean? Then lunging in on, then throwing challenges in when the ball gets away from him. No, he has to be better. So look, we need to see more. But for me, look, there's a player there. We know that, but he just needs to perform next season now and have a good summer. Ben Wiles, I think. Look, Ben Wiles is probably the most inconsistent. Well, to be fair, all this squad's inconsistent, but Ben Wiles is probably the most frustrating player because yes, he's produced what he has this season. He's scored quite a number of goals, and assists as well. But what this is where stats are kind of like, we're just over obsessed with stats nowadays, aren't we? In my opinion, because yes, he has scored goals this season and he has got assists. But if you've watched him every single game this season, you'll know that those stats are flawed because of what we've seen. We've seen him go in and out of games. He performs well one game, then he goes missing for weeks, and then he performs again, and it's just like rinse and repeat. It's not good enough. We need to see better from Ben Wiles. I don't think he's a starter. I think the fact that he started as many games as he has proves that there wasn't anybody that could come in, and that is why he just kept his place ultimately. But yeah, he's not a starter going into next season, in my opinion. We need to get somebody better in, and Ben Wiles will have to work hard to get his place back, because I think he has been given so many opportunities when he hasn't played well, and he's just, because he knows his position's safe, he just performs out, and he hides too much. Hiding in that position, you need to always want the ball, always show off the ball. He doesn't do that. So for me, yes, keep him, but I do think he's a player that potentially could be a good player to bring off the bench, and make an impact, and then see what happens with him then. So yes, that is my keep list. So Jacob Chapman, Dion Charles, Tom Yorpender, Herbie Kane, David Kasumu, Mikael Miller, Ruben Ruskin, Brodie Spencer, Joe Taylor, and Ben Wiles. So that is 11 players I've kept, which is a lot of players, I know, but I had to be realistic, guys. Look, I said it in my previous videos, I don't want to keep most of this squad, but we cannot get rid of every single player we've got in the building, unfortunately. That is the way it goes, and that is it. And that leads me on to, well, I've kind of put these into two kind of different kind of brackets now, because there's the term. Well, look, I've said that I want some of these contracts terminated, as well as players that I want to see sold and loaned out. Now, for me, we'll go with the termination of contracts first. That I'd like to see happen, to be honest, because I'm just sick and tired of this now. First man on the list, Reece Healy. I'm sorry, but he is not good to anybody. He cannot keep himself fit. I don't care about all this. It's not his fault, all this rubbish. He's ridiculous how many games he's played this past season. 9 matches he's managed, and that is not starts. That is coming off the bench sometimes. You know what I mean? 9 matches this season. It's utterly pathetic. He needs his contract terminating, and yeah, for me, nobody will buy him because he's injury prone. And yeah, I just think you just need to cut ties with players like that, because they're on the wage bill. Yes, you're going to lose out on the money that we blew on him. Of course, the £1 million figure that was blown on this guy. In fact, not 1 million. It was nearly 2 million on this guy. And yes, we're losing a lot of money on there. But you're paying his wages every week, and he's just a waste of a wage at the moment. Can't keep fit. He's injury prone, and he's no good to us. 9 matches this season. That is including appearances off the bench, and yeah, just ridiculous. It's not acceptable. The next player, Radinho Balca. Yes, guys, this guy is a good player on his day. We've seen it. But again, another player that has played 14 matches this season. He seems to come back from injury and then only manage 1.5 games, and he's back out injured again. Again, you can be as good as you want, but if you're not able to keep fit, then you're no good to anybody. We've given him multiple chances, and he's just constantly injury after injury after injury. He's a waste of time, as with Healy, who, again, Healy's a good player on his day. He does, but they're injury prone, and it's just not good enough. Like I said, 14 matches for Balca. For me, I would terminate his contract. And of course, finally, Freddie Ladapo terminated his contract. Absolutely, came in last summer, and he knew full well when he came in this would be a disaster of a signing, of many disaster signings by our fraud of a sporting director, who's thankfully out of the door now. But yes, I knew it was going to be a disaster. You can look at what he did in the past with, a few years back at this level. I'm not interested. The fact is, he came in, he's at the back end of his career. No desire, no hunger. Not really interested in the club as he showed. And to be honest with you, couldn't even get in the couldn't even get in the match day squad. So in the second half of the season, so that tells you everything you need to know about this guy. Absolutely ridiculous. I just can't believe that we went to sign this guy. Honestly, like I said, I suppose anything's possible when you've got a fraud of a sporting director in that is thankfully gone now. But I still just shake my head at this sign and think, wow. As with the others, to be fair, that is on this terminated contract list, because the due diligence of these players are clearly not being done. We've gone off stats for Ladapo back. We've gone off stats from years ago on Ladapo as apparently a player that could come in and make an impact. Reality is, he was never going to make an impact. It was just a case of, we missed out on the targets they wanted last summer. Let's try and appease the fans with a free transfer and tell everybody that we've been chasing him all summer. That was all this was about. This was a panic buy, nothing more, nothing less. But Freddie Ladapo, no, not having it. Like my terminated contract list. And then we go on to the, who I would sell. I mean, look, high priority, sell. Sorba Thomas, for me, one of the first men out the door, please, because I'm telling you now, we've got to this point of the thing where the season's over, and fans are saying, you know, after his loan spell in France, let's give him a chance. Let's give him a chance. No, I'm sorry. Any player that disrespects the club, that thinks they're bigger than the club, and has a serious attitude problem, and a lack of work rate, and caring the world for the football club, that is actually giving him the platform to go on and do what he's done, by the way, because we gave him that chance from non-league, and he seems to have forgotten about that. And I'm sorry, when players have talked down about the club and been disrespectful towards the club, and he's too busy on social media posting childish remarks on there. And of course, I saw the other day that he was posting about the Leeds United promotion. Yes. So what is that about? So yeah, bad attitude, shocking, unprofessional, spoilt brat. So he needs to be sold. He did get interest from Hull when he was in France. The deal wasn't done because of the contract clauses with them that we had with them. So, but now he's back with us. Need to sell him. Shouldn't ever play for the club again. Absolutely not. So he needs to be a high priority sell. Next up, well, I'm going to go do a high priority, and that is Lee Nichols. Lee Nichols, guys, I'm sorry to say it, but look, he's done some good stuff for us over the years, but for me, it's just all turned very sour for Lee Nichols for me. He's not been the same player since he's got them injuries, and I think that the fact that he was taken out of the squad as well, a few games before the season was finishing, says everything you need to know. He didn't, and of course, when I record, there's always a siren that has to come past and gate crash the video, sorry. So yes, sorry about that. But look, Lee Nichols just hasn't been the same player recently, you know, for a while now, and yeah, I just think we need to just try and cash in on him now. And for me, as I said to you earlier about Chapman isn't our first choice. We need to sell Nichols and get a replacement in a solid number one goalkeeper who we can fully trust and who will do the job for us week in, week out. So that goalkeeping position would be a priority for me this summer as well, in terms of getting a very good, solid goalkeeper in, because, like I said, this season we haven't had a number one goalkeeper, and in any squad, that's not good enough. So for me, we need to find that number one goalkeeper, and that is what I want to see. So yeah, Lee Nichols needs to be sold now, in my opinion. His time has run out for us. Lasse Sorensen is on the sell list. Yes, people may be surprised by this, but for me, guys, what does he actually offer? What has he actually offered since he came through the door last summer? Can anybody tell me? Because all I see is a guy that runs around like a headless chicken, and yes, gets a few good deliveries in. Fine. It's not consistent deliveries though, mind you. And defensively, he's woeful. is absolutely woeful. The amount of times he gets bypassed, and the amount of times that he misses his challenge, and the amount of times that he doesn't even get close to getting a challenge in as well. It's just not good enough. Will Lincoln want him back? Everybody loved him around those ways. Will they look to maybe try and get him back? You know, that is a potential option, but for me, I've just not been convinced with him at all, guys, and that's just me being honest. So for me, it would be good to sell him, but as you can see, I haven't put him as one of the highest selling priorities because I do think we may not be able to get rid of him, but I'd put him on that list still because I do think that he needs to be sold. Another one, Anthony Evans, who has absolutely seriously underwhelmed all season long. Right, that first game did well against Peterborough away. I'm sure we all at the opening day thought, oh, we've got a good player on our hands here, and it's just all gone downhill since then. He has been woeful, not good enough, and I'm sorry, too lightweight, don't really see a player in there that will look to dictate things in that midfield and really take control of the midfield. He's just a very poor footballer in my opinion, and yes, that is the way I see it. Not being convinced, and for me, it's just another sign that hasn't worked out for us in my eyes. And yes, we have had a big scope to go off. A full season is a big scope to go off, and from what we've seen, we expect to see way more than what we've seen from him, and from Sorensen as well. So yeah, for me, that's why I put those on the sell list. And of course, then we have got Bojan Radulovic, who again has been another disaster of a signing made. Can't believe this guy cost us over £1 million. I just can't get over it. It's just crazy how we went out and spent 1 point whatever million it was on a player that was from the Finnish league and had not hardly had any experience at this level. He's just been awful. Clearly not up to it. Clearly not good enough. Maybe we could sell him. We could sell him to a club that is back. Maybe we could sell him back to the club that he came from. That'd be good, wouldn't it? But I'm sure maybe in that league that he came from, maybe he will be useful to somebody in that league. But for us, he's not. Probably we will have to cut. We will have to obviously lose a lot of money on him, but just get him out the door, guys. If we can't sell him, loan him, because like I said, just get him off the wage bill. So yes, that is my keep, sell, and terminate contracts that I would like to see. So guys, thank you so much for watching. Make sure you do drop a like, subscribe to this channel if you are new, and let me know down below what your keep, sell, who you would keep and sell. But also, I haven't obviously included Neo Eccleston in the list, by the way, guys, but I would keep him as well. Obviously, he's in contract discussion at the moment, but he is out of contract, so I haven't included him in the list of keep, but I would. I've already said yesterday on the live show that we did that I would keep Eccleston, and yeah, but I haven't included him in the contract ones. But yeah, thank you very much for watching, and I'll be back very soon for some more Huddersfield Town content. But until next time, take care, stay safe, and thanks all for your support. See you on the next one.